Hello guys, how are you? This is Sumit Gupta, a trusted realtor from Haansal Estate. Thank you so much for sticking with us, for your support and love. We really appreciate it. So today in this case study, we are going to discuss about the investors who want to buy property through SMSF funds. We recently had one of the investors who bought a one-bedroom apartment in a growing suburb, which offers more than around 6% rental yield. And that gentleman is very happy with his investment. We had faced some concerns, some issues while helping him out. And I want to bring it in this video so that when you are intending to buy a property through SMSF, you know what you are getting into. The first thing is creating an SMSF fund. When you intend to buy a property through SMSF fund, that property must be under a registered SMSF fund. Creating an SMSF fund can be very tedious and it can take up to 1 to 2 months just to create it. So I think it is better if you are intending to buy a property in future under SMSF, you should start talking to an accountant right now so that you can have an SMSF fund ready by the time you find the right property. Number two, buying a property under SMSF fund can be a little tedious and costly. There are two main reasons. Number one, SMSF fund property can be only one single contract property. You cannot buy a property with a split contracts like house and land packages. We have two contracts, one for land, one for house. In SMSF fund, it has to be one contract. So if you're intending to buy a brand new house, the developers sometimes ask you to pay an extra holding cost. Secondly, if you buy any property through super, you cannot live in that property for yourself until you attain a certain age. So it means that the money and the property is off the limit. And even if you sell the property, the money goes back to the super, even if there's a profit on that. Number three, not all the banks fund SMSF properties. There are few private lenders or the tier 3 banks who can do that. Generally, they charge 1 to 1.5% interest rate higher than the market rate. So it means having an SMSF investment property can be a little bit more expensive. You should try to buy a high rental yield property so that your SMSF fund does not shrink and you don't have to go beyond your voluntary contribution to support that property which you bought through SMSF. Number four, SMSF transactions are highly monitored through ATO. So you make sure that you keep an arm's length with SMSF properties and the transactions involved. Now, once the super fund is created, you can buy property. But if you want to buy multiple properties, then within each fund, you have to create different trust. Each trust will hold only one property at a time. Another concern which we faced in helping our client with super is that because not many lenders are there to help you out, there are only few banks or few private lenders who fund super property. So be careful when you plan to buy a property through super. Based on my experience, I would highly recommend to buy a high rental yield property so that the rents can take care of most of the higher interest rate. Another issue which we also see that not all the properties can be funded at 80% LVR. Many private lenders fund super properties at 65 to 70% LVR, and only one or two funds 80% LVR. And also, if you attain certain age, like above 50 or 55, even those private lenders try to stay away from funding any super property. So buying a property in super is a good option to plan your future retirement, but it comes with the challenges. Again, I'm just going to have a very recap. You have very limited banks to serve with. You can only buy a property with a single contract. You cannot live in that property until you attain a certain age. Your interest rate might be higher. You don't have much say in valuation and interest rate because of the limited number of providers or the fund investors who are going to help you fund that property. And last not least, any profit you make on the property will go back to the super only. You cannot take any part of that property out. And on the top of that, because of a higher interest rate, I would recommend, in place of going a big property, please go with a property which has a higher rental yield, like 6% and above, so that you don't have to take a pinch and the super can be self-sufficient and you don't have to do a voluntary contribution for that. We just help one of our client to buy a property through super. The client bought one bedroom apartment in a growing suburb. The rental yield is close to 6%. The property price was around 560 and the rental is close to 620 in that suburb. So if you're looking to buy certain properties with a higher rental yield or higher capital growth or a bit of both, then please let us know. We have properties in 4 different states: Brisbane, Queensland, Sydney, New South Wales, Melbourne, Victoria, and Canberra. At the moment, we have all the options from 400,000 to $40 million property, apartments, townhouses, house and land packages. We can certainly help you to find the right property for you. So, what are you waiting for? Give us a call on this number and let us help you find the right property. My name is Sumit Gupta from Haansal Estate. Please don't forget to subscribe the channel, like, comment, and share the video, and hit the notification icon. This is Sumit Gupta. Take care. Bye bye.